Well, I want to talk about a few of the things I wish that all teachers would do with their Canvas courses. So the first thing, when you first set up a Canvas course, your defaults for your institution are are what is shown. Anyway, it's usually way more than you need. So if you come in and go to settings of the course, the first thing I would do is go to navigation and just remove everything that you're not using specifically for that course. Um, if there's something you use, leave it up there. But otherwise, remove it because it's just clutter that is going to annoy you and the students the entire semester. Okay. And I would only leave things up here that the students need. Um, so if you link to all your files, for example, in a, um, let me make this a little bigger. If you link to all your files through an assignment, you don't even need to show them files. Um, if your pages are always in the assignments, you don't need to show them that. I often don't show people. Um, I usually read grades, discussion. I only leave if they need access to it. So, um, but if you do this, come down to the bottom and hit save, then it'll look a lot better. And then not only that, when you're home and you go to your student view, your students, I wait, I did it too fast. Um, let's let it load. Student view. Your students it'll look a lot nicer for them. They won't be overwhelmed with all this stuff here. So number one, remove the stuff in the menu that you don't use. Okay. Um, Number two, there's a lot of neat features here with grades. And one of the main things I see with students um, is that um, if they get a zero, they're on top of it right away. So I automatically apply a grade for missing assignments, and I set it to zero because they didn't turn anything in. Um, so that's great because the moment it's late, they get a notification that they've got a zero. Okay. The second thing that I like to do is automatically apply late deduction on submission. So they get the zero. Most of my stuff's due right around midnight. They get the zero, and then they wake up the next morning. Great. So now I can't turn it in. No, I wanted them to be able to turn it in, but I wanted to turn it in quickly so that we can grade it. They stay up with the class. So I usually just say 1% production per hour. So wake up in the morning, it's only been 7, 8 hours. They still have over 90%. It's great. And then the lowest possible grade, zero, because after a couple days, it's just they've waited too long. Now, one problem I have with this is over the weekend, I really wish they had a check here for school days, like, or weekdays. Um, and you can submit feature improvements to Canvas and then you vote on them. So anyway, apply the settings. And the other thing is, I've noticed when I copy my Canvas courses over, that setting does not always stay applied. Uh, so first one, work on the menu. Second one, help the students know that they've missed the assignment, get them working on it as soon as possible, and find some type of a deduction. I like 1% per hour. That's what I've kind of settled on for most of my courses. Um, so on top of that, I'm not going to, so with the assignments, yeah, so with the assignments grouping, you can um, edit these groups. Oh, cancel. Um, Assignment group weights. You can set the group weights for these categories to be different. So I have usually a general like attendance, you're there, you're learning, a general assessment, you're actually demonstrating what you've learned, and then other things like that. So I usually break them up, and then the there and learning or the prep, like the reading, um, I might I may drop the lowest score just in case something happens. and they can't make it. So, but this weight is awesome because you can just put the points in here and it doesn't matter. You add something and you just keep the same weight for the different categories. So weighting the categories. So just for kicks, let's add a couple groups. So in fact, I like to call it engagements, something they're supposed to be doing in class or as a group. Oh shoot, not what I wanted to click on. Sometimes my brain is slower than my fingers. So assignments, oh sorry, it's supposed to be assessments. Well, sorry, well, tests. Let's edit this one again. Engagements, tests, and prep, whatever we want to call it. And I sometimes call it differently depending on what the course is. But then we can actually come in here and we can edit group weights. We can say, okay, tests are going to be 40%. Oh, I often usually have a final. Prep will be 10. Engagements will be 20. And then we'd add the final to get the rest. So save. I'm going to add a group. Final. And 30. Happy day, I'm at 100. Save. Then as I add things, you can actually set rules. And I don't see that I have that option until I put stuff in it. And you can drop the two lowest or whatever, depending on how many you have. I only do drop if I have a lot. Otherwise, the late penalty of 1% can apply. Tests, since the late penalty wouldn't really work for tests in the final, I try and figure something out. You can't do anything about the final, but tests, for example, for one of my classes, the last day of class is a makeup day, and you can make up one of the tests, that type of thing. So, but yeah, set the weight so that you can add, remove, modify assignments as need be, and you keep an equal balance between what you expect them to do inside the class, outside the class, and assessing of what they understand from all that material. Okay, so we've covered the menu, we've covered the grade, and we've just covered the categories. Let's cover attendance. So in attendance, one of the things I really like, and first of all, I do take attendance. It helps me learn names, kind of. But also, sometimes we're asked, when was this person last in class? And so it just helps if you're taking attendance. I like to do it with a seating chart, so I put it in here, and because I've noticed they don't change often. Of course, add drop dates and stuff, but they don't change much after that, and then that helps me learn their names, or at least their photographs or whatever we have in here. On top of that, then I can have this roll call attendance be part of the points, and it'll show up under one of these assignments, and I drag it to engagements. In fact, look right there, it's there, and I can assign this as many points as I'd like. So right now it's 100, but depending on how much the other engagements are, maybe I want it to be 1,000, maybe I want it to be 10. It just depends on how much you have in the course. But yeah, this is great. By the way, if you just click it, it takes you back to that, but you can come over and you can edit it, and this is where you change the allocation of points. So that's very helpful for me. So those are 4 things that I think are awesome. Now let's cover one more. A couple more. Syllabus. There's a syllabus thing here. One of the cool things is if you put your syllabus here, if your institution has the means, they could programmatically come and grab this for assessment. I mean, for reporting purposes of stuff. Anyway, you could programmatically grab it if it's all in the same place. So I like putting my syllabus here, then the students can see it. When it comes to home, I often hide the modules because I show modules on the home. Um, and this is where I expect students to come most of the time. Now, on top of that, I usually hide the announcements, but in settings, there's this really neat feature. And that way, if you need an announcement in your class, it's just there. But you come down towards the bottom under, I think it's more options. Yeah, show recent announcement on course homepage. And I usually do 2 or 3. So then, if you do have an announcement you need to do, when they come to the homepage, it'll be right at the top. So let's actually do an announcement. By the way, they don't even have to be able to see the announcement. Make the announcement. I'm just going to say test. This is a test. Okay, so we have test. This is a test. And so now if I come back to home and I go to student view, we'll see what a student sees. And of course, since I don't have modules, it doesn't really help. Test, this is a test. Then we would have had the modules. They can view the course calendar, which totally put everything on the calendar. Anything that has points should have a due date. That way, if they miss it, it gets a 0. Anyway, so this is looking better. Now they see the announcement and they would have their course modules down here. They can look at their grades or the syllabus. So you can see the features there without needing to have them over here and just clutter things up. So there was one more I was thinking about. Let's see. Oh, with modules. One of the things I usually do is I try to name my modules. Well, I have a intro module. And this intro module will go through things that I'll reference through class. I might have a page to link out to the course ebook if it's an ebook, and I usually call it the reference page. How to be successful in the class, what to expect the first day, all that stuff. Stick it up in the intro, everything that you need the first day. And then, of course, you have the chapters. Now, if it's a lower level class for example, in a college environment, you might, one of the things I've started to do, and I really like this. So if I add a module, let's say this is chapter 5. And let's say this, I don't know, I'm going to make up, this is a how to hack your neighbor. How to hack your neighbor. And then I might put here more in chapter 15 and course hacking 345. Anyway, etc. So add this module. So what they have here is if it's a beginning level course, an intro course, especially people who are minoring and need to decide what other courses they can take, they see, oh, I really like this chapter. Now I can take, if I want to learn more, oh, we're going to learn more in chapter 15 in this course, but also there's these other courses I can take. So I can look and see how I would fit that into my career path at the university. So anyway, I just thought I would share some of the things I really like about Canvas that I think others should try and use. Anyway, have a good day.